carpet show here on Scalora DanceSport, where we bring ballroom to the red carpet and the red carpet to ballroom. This is my co-host,
Alessandro Scalora. Enjoy the show.
Bye. Hello guys, and welcome to a brand new segment of Scalora DanceSport featuring me, Anna Najarian, and Alessandro Scalora. Now, this is, as you guys know, not my first time on Scalora DanceSport. I started on Scalora DanceSport as a really avid fan, and then I began doing some contributions here and there, and yeah, here I am, starting this brand new segment with Mr. Alessandro Scalora.
Well, hello guys. Hello Anna, how are you? Or afternoon, or night, or wherever you guys are watching from. So yes, I am here as co-host of the Red Carpet Show. It is such a pleasure for us to do this. And guys, I am not the host, I am the co-host. So Anna is in charge of this Red Carpet Show. So tell us, Anna, why red carpet, not purple, blue, orange, rainbow?
Well, Ale, that is a very good question. We decided to call this the Red Carpet Show because we have one day hopes of being on the red carpet and walking the red carpet ourselves. And we figured, why not use this opportunity? We have this beautiful red carpet here, and why not use this opportunity as something to start off with?
That's right. So
day, guys.
dress for the occasion. Am I right? Red carpet, red standard outfit. I know we're working on that. But next time she'll wear red.
Yeah.
So yes, we love to watch red carpet events. And exactly like Anna said, one day we will take part in one. And I thought, well, why not that day be today? So today we have walked the Scalora DanceSport red carpet. Right? Applause. Right? Now, we do have a guest with us on our very first episode. Now, this guest is going to walk the carpet with us. And we spoke with our guest just earlier, just a few seconds before filming. And one of our guests actually color coordinated, you see, without saying anything. So she's on top of it. We know who's the leader there in this couple, right? So without further ado, ladies and gentlemen, this is one of the United States top couples. Tell us a little bit about this couple before I introduce them.
So, this couple recently traveled to Germany to attend the German Open Championships earlier this August, and we are here to interview them and their experiences and talk to them and, see kind of a little bit of their backstory and how they got into this.
That's right. So, ladies and gentlemen, from the United States of America, we have Mr. David Getchell and Allison Gonzalez. Hello, how are you?
Greetings.
Great, thanks for having us.
It's a pleasure to host you guys. So, I must take the reign here and ask the most infamous question that Alessandro always asks at the beginning of his interviews. How is the weather there in California you guys are at, right?
It's better. We had a brutal heat wave the last week. For us, brutal was like 114. Yeah. But today it's much nicer. It's in the 80s and on its way to the 70s. So
wow, that's a big change.
So how are we taking advantage of that? Are we going outside? What are we doing? Tell me.
Well, we're mostly just trying to stay cool, to tell you the truth. So the studio is delightfully air conditioned. So spending a little extra time at the studio.
Nice.
Just chilling.
With our first question, I wanted to ask you guys, and that is, was this your first time at the GOC in Germany? Back in August earlier this.
Yeah, it was not. So we became aware of the German Open through some friends of ours who would go almost every year, I think. And they kept telling us, "Oh, you should go. You should try the German Open. You should try it." So in 2018, we went and we signed up for the Senior 3 event, and I don't remember what our placement was. It was like the middle of the pack, I think, or maybe the upper third, something like that. It was okay.
There were over 200 couples. It was a big many round competition.
Yeah. And at the end of the day, Irina Trebunskaya walked up to me and she said, "Why don't you guys enter the Senior 4 event?" And I said, "Senior 4? And she said, "Yeah, what's stopping you?" And I was like, "Well, I don't know. I never considered it." And she said, "Well, do it.
Do it.
And
Let's do it.
I think like the next day or maybe even a day in between. So So we entered it, and up until that point, I always felt like U.S. couples didn't stand a chance at World. It's just because we don't get seen, the judges don't know us, it's not in our wheelhouse. But anyway, we came in third that year.
Nice, congratulations.
So that really then lit a fire under us, and we were like, okay, let's, everything I thought was wrong, apparently, let's see what we can do here. So then we really focused, and we can talk more about this later, but we focused, and then in 2019 we won the thing.
There you go. Congratulations. We got German Open champs with us in the house.
Thank you.
Yes.
So then this year, as you know, we went again and came in third.
Well, that is awesome to have German Open champions among us here on the red carpet, and especially Americans, as you said. It is a little rare to see an American win such or even make final in such categories and comps at the German Open. So big congratulations to you. Of course, one of the top, when I think Americans, I think you also think of this as the Williamson family, Ashley Williams, Amy Williamson. They're amazing, top guys.
Yeah.
So to discuss your recent trip to Germany, so compared to last times, 2018, 2019, and now today, 22. Tell me, was there any difference in feeling from the competition? Were there any differences in the competition this year? Because the German Open didn't take place in 2020. So in relation to 2018, 2019, were there any differences? Tell me, what happened?
So there were fewer couples, being 88 versus over 100 couples. And of course, we're older, right? So every year you have the new couples that are moving up. So it becomes harder and harder to keep your ranking. So I would say that is one of the biggest changes for us personally, which makes you a little more nervous with the whole thing. The German Open itself was amazing. Lots of vendors. There were workshops, camps afterwards, and it was very, very well attended, and just a beautiful event.
Sometime we'll have to tell you about our lessons with Fabio Somi that didn't quite happen.
Yeah. Oh no, I can tell you.
Things change.
That's ouch. No, he's a big coach. He's a big master. I'd love to hear it though. Tell me, I want to hear it, because actually in 2019, the last German Open I went to, and the only one in 2019, I was supposed to do lesson with the great Franco Formica, but I didn't have. So I wonder if our stories are the same. Tell us, we want to know.
Well, so we signed up for lessons beforehand with some of the greats, and a couple days before the lessons, Allison sent an email to the organizer saying, we haven't seen a schedule, have you got a schedule out yet? So they sent a schedule. And I think at the end of that, right, was a little note saying, oh, by the way, Fabio had to leave early.
Right. And so there were strikes happening with the airlines, as you may know about, in Europe. And so apparently his flight got moved up. And so it ended up he could only teach a couple of people in the morning. And, those were like Grand Slam people.
So that was on Thursday. And Friday morning, one of our friends emailed us or messaged us and said, hey, I just saw Fabio. He's still here. So Allison sends another email to the organizer. Oh, I guess our lessons are back on, huh? And no, actually, he has to leave Sunday morning early.
Yeah.
And as Allison said, when we walked into the camp and saw, he was working with Tomas Feinzel, and all these top level people, and we were like, oh, I think we were a little out of our league here. So just as well.
But we still had some lovely lessons, really great workshops as well.
Yeah, we got to work with Edita, and she was using her elbow she says, I don't work with seniors much, but
Bow.
Yeah.
So it was fun. That was a great experience, actually.
Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. Tell me about the rounds. What were the rounds like there in Germany?
In terms of the rounds for the competition or practice rounds?
Practice rounds, the rounds during the camp.
Oh, we actually didn't stay for that because I had injured myself by that point,
Oh,
and we were just happy to make it through the lessons, and then we didn't go any further than that.
oh, I see, I see. Did you recover well? Everything was okay in the end, yes?
Yeah, it was unfortunate because we danced on a Tuesday and a Thursday. They had the same event run twice, which they often do for senior events, so that you can accumulate 2 sets of ranking points when you travel. So we danced Tuesday, and then on Wednesday I injured my back, and then we didn't think I'd be able to dance on Thursday, but with the encouragement of our friends and
There you go, you trooped through.
you know, we went for it. So yeah, actually, and we ran into Annette Sidal and Simone, and they said, "Oh, have you seen the physical therapist on site?" And I was like, "What physical therapist?"
Yeah.
So they hooked us up with them, and that helped a lot.
That was a great help. Yeah.
Good, good. I'm happy to hear that you were able to recover. A lot of dancers take advantage. Oh, I have an injury, and then they kind of use that as an excuse. But it's good to hear that we've got you as our American representative there to continue trooping. All right, Anna, I take it back to you.
I'm actually kind of pleasantly surprised because you guys answered a lot of my questions I had here. Brought up some.
I'm sorry.
Sorry.
Brought up some really good discussion points. What is it like dancing with your lifelong partner and also your dance partner, and being able to travel the world at the same time, and like sharing those experiences together? Which like sometimes we see dance partnerships that are like strictly dance partnerships and nothing outside of that, and then
With a contract.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. And then sometimes we see dance partnerships that are also personal relationships, and they make it work, and they make it work beautifully. So tell us a little bit about your experiences with that.
I would say it's really a wonderful experience for us to be married and doing the dance together. It allows us to do all this travel together. It doesn't come without issues for us. David was dancing before I started, and he'd been dancing 10 years when we met. And then we decided that I decided that I wanted him to dance with me. So we spent going through, while he still did Pro-Am because he was already championship level, and we danced through all the levels to come up to championship. So it actually took us 6 years. And I have a ballet background, but the technique is very, very different. So I really needed the time to go through the basics, learn the importance of the technique in order to arrive at championship level and for us to do well. So.
And we decided, right from the beginning that we didn't want to be one of those couples that, you're embarrassed to be with in the studio because they're screaming at each other and yelling. And
yes, I could name a few actually, unfortunately.
And I think with married couples, it's even easier to get into that, because there's no boundary here.
There's no going home and being alone to get over it.
So it's been for me, definitely a learning process because, I've had to learn new ways to communicate, so that we're able to figure out a solution instead of you're wrong. No, you're wrong. So it's been really good. I think for the relationship as a whole, it's been really good.
I see. I see. Now I'm gonna take the reins a little bit. I'm a sucker for any romance story. You put me in front of I don't know another way to say this. So excuse me if I make some sense, but if you put me in front of a chick flick, I'm gonna cry because it's also an Alessandro flick. Because I'm a sucker for romance and I love all those stories about love and oh my god. So tell me, what's a little bit like traveling, being able to do what you love, dancing, and mixing the factor of travel, being able to travel all over the world, doing camps and being able to, that passion and that artistry of dance, being able to share that same passion with the person that you love. So it's just love and love and love on top of that.
Yeah.
And I'm sure maybe
Like
the practice
everything you love.
sessions aren't,
Yeah.
how do you manage practice sessions or training camps, competitions? What are some strategies that you use?
So there's a couple things here. So first, Allison runs a business. So she has a Pilates and gyrotonic studio.
Right. So we both cross train. So that's very helpful for us as far as our practicing, that we're both getting strong and maintaining a level of physical fitness all the time.
Yeah.
And that also supports our dancing.
And she's able to some degree anyway, to arrange her schedule to accommodate our travel, which is really helpful.
That is very nice.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm retired now, so it's easier for me. And Allison is just the best, the world's best at traveling. She speaks Italian, she speaks some French.
Allora, bene, parliamo italiano, basta
Sì, ma
inglese.
tu sì, parlo
I'm
italiano.
no longer a host of this show.
So and she doesn't mind taking the reins. So we walk into a train station. It's like boom, 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 boom. Okay, we do this. Boom, off we go. It's just I'm getting spoiled because I can just okay, whatever. Tell me where to go. So traveling with her is the best. And then we both love to travel. We both love museums, we love art, we love ballet, we love performing arts. So it's a great opportunity to travel to other cities and get exposure to all these other things. So it's pretty great.
There's always sightseeing involved afterwards, or
Often with friends.
Yeah, which is nice.
Because she was in a ballet company that and she's been in several around the world. We go to some city. Oh, who do I know here? Oh, Sally. Let me call Sally.
Right.
Dude, love it.
It's amazing.
It's a great thing.
So we're discussing ballet a little bit now. I remember, I'll have to find this picture because it's somewhere on the internet. But I do recall a picture of Mr. David Getchell in a Nutcracker uniform. Can you tell us about
Yes, that was one of my son's greatest joys because he got to video us when we did this
It's a
Nutcracker
ballroom
performance.
show dance.
Yeah, so he's holding the camera, he's videoing us, and so I'm looking at the video later, and I hear, David, I wish you had shown me this costume sooner, because I could have been laughing longer.
Sure, of course.
So he enjoyed it.
Yes.
Sure. Now, Allison, tell us, what's your favorite ballet? Now, here at the studio at the Volga Dance Academy, we put together a Nutcracker ballroom style. We didn't do ballet.
Led by
Yes, but we didn't do ballet because I was like, ooh, I better not do anything like that. It won't look as good, right? But I do love the Nutcracker. The Nutcracker for me is my favorite. I always did the Nutcracker on ice. So tell me, what's your favorite ballet?
Well, I like the traditional ones, but my background was more neoclassical and the Balanchine ballets, which are beautiful, musical, more modern, more extended lines. You'll see like a traditional position like this, and then in Balanchine, it's very lengthened and extended, which I find very beautiful. So, and very fast footwork, and again, the musicality is so important. And I like contemporary ballets as well. So
that is cool. That is cool. I think a really nice advantage to dancers who study or have a background in other forms of dancing and not just ballroom is a really good factor. For example, ballet, the coordination, breaking the muscles in the breaking and hip hop, contemporary, the ability to free the body. So I think that's really, really cool. So big congratulations to you. So let's continue back on the ballroom side. Now, the next question I have for you is about a little bit about training and preparation. What does your training consist of, either physically or mentally? What does that look like for an international competition, and how does that compare to domestic ones?
So the main thing for us is the preparation. So for an international competition, it's most likely going to be a day-long event. You're going to be there. You're going to get there early in the morning to get your hair done, makeup. You're going to be there all day. You may not get out of there until after all the restaurants have closed in the area. So there's a lot more preparation, daytime, the event day preparation that has to take place. So you need to have all the food you're going to eat for that day. You need to have all the water, all the liquids you're going to drink, bananas. If you need some sort of entertainment, you need to make sure you have that covered. And then emotionally, you just have to be psychologically prepared for being up, bam, 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 going for it, to chilling. Get your legs up, relax. Okay, an hour goes by, bring it back up, go, 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 go. So it's a very different experience than the events that we have here in the States, where for us, I mean, most of them are just a straight final.
One final and we're done.
Yeah.
Right. So we're also preparing for not only multiple, but 5 or 6 rounds. We're also, our rounds are 1.5 minutes to 2 minutes for each dance. That's the WDSF regulation. But our first day at German Open, all of the rounds had 1.5 minutes for each dance. The second day, they were 1:45 each, all 5 rounds that we danced.
All 5 dances.
All 5 dances, even Deanies.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, so we do, when we're getting ready for an international competition, we change our rounds to 2-minute rounds. So that
okay. That's
yeah.
To outside people, 2 minutes, it seems like, 2 minutes, but that's a lot of hardcore. 2 minutes is
2 minutes times 5 each dance. The muscles that are working it's exhausting. I can imagine.
It is.
Yeah.
But once we're prepared, we see other people are just really losing it at the end of each dance, and we're still fine.
Yeah, we almost always win quick step. It's just, because we're just going.
Mm-hmm.
Hashtag sportsman, strong sportsman. That's what we like to hear. I love that.
In our age group.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, going off of that just a little bit, it triggered a little bit of a curiosity in my mind. Would you say that, like, traveling internationally, I know, David, you said you have to be psychologically prepared. Would you say traveling international, you have to kind of be prepared for things to go wrong? And then if so, like, how would you say it's the quickest way to recover? So, for example, if you have any issues like traveling internationally, or if, like, there's not enough accommodations, or if you have to, like, think of something really quick on the spot, how would you say, what are your experiences with that?
Well, of course, everybody's different, but I'm one of these people that likes to get to the airport 3 hours early if it's an international flight, and I never regret it. And we sort of have a similar strategy, because I don't cope well with jet lag. We try to always be there at least 2 full days plus a travel day ahead of the event. Otherwise, poor Allison has to repeat the same wall over and over and over as I forget what's next.
Right.
That can be really bad. And we also make sure that we have melatonin, so we're sleeping as quickly as possible through the night. So
for an important competition, we'll try to upgrade our class so that we're sleeping, so that we're able to sleep on the flight over, if it's a really important comp.
Right. We'll use our points. We usually travel with just one airline so that we can have enough points that we can apply for an upgrade for the important part of the flight. And we did get that before Germany. That was great. As everyone knows, but apparently people forget this, you have to carry your costumes and your shoes.
Yeah, never check them.
Yeah.
On the flight. And every competition, it seems we see someone who's lost their luggage. And it's such a hard lesson to learn,
100%. Those are normally my two options. I either have it in the bag or in my carry-on, and then I never let that carry-on out of my sight. So
Absolutely.
that's what I try to do. I understand 100%.
And Anna, getting back to your question, I mean, one of the things that I'm not very good at, but Allison is very good at, is coping with those unexpected changes. So it seems to me I almost instantly go into a funk. I'm like, crap, or a flight's canceled. While she's off on her phone, figuring out, okay, what are we gonna do? What's her
We'll get
alternative?
there.
So we do.
And I think that's a very good dynamic to have, in any given partnership. Like, obviously, when two people are working together, there's always going to be one person has weaknesses and the other person, that's where the other person comes in with their strengths, and they work together and get things done. So I think that's amazing to like keep each other in check all the time, make sure that, because you're both in this together, if you're both going for the same goal, I mean, I think it's only logical that you both try and help each other get to the fastest possible, solution.
And I have to tell you, this is the first German Open where I didn't lose something.
I have never been to an event where I didn't lose something. So you're one better than me.
Yeah.
So we went. The first year it was my wallet, and again I left it in a taxi, and I was going to write that off right away. And Allison's on the phone. She was able to track down the taxi company, then the taxi driver, and then finally they got the wallet.
But that guy here, we're interviewing the FBI.
Yeah. The next year it was my phone. So we jumped off the tram in order to get a snack, and then as we're sitting there, I'm going, hey, where's my phone? And she does a Find My iPhone, and we watch it. It's on the tram.
So it's going and going and going.
Yeah, so again, my first inclination was, okay, I get a new phone. She was like, no, let's go. Let's chase it. So we went down all the way to the end of the tram line, and it looked like the phone was there, and all I could see was there were these mothers with baby carriages that were on the tram, and I was like, did one of them steal my phone? and so I'm walking around, and we're doing the thing on my phone, sort of play a tone, and we're not hearing a tone anywhere. So she resets the app, and she looks again, and we see the phone is back on the tram going the other way.
We finally got it. It took a couple of hours, but we did get it. And there you go, an afternoon at the German Open.
Yeah.
Wow, David, I have to say, I'm exactly like you. I had the same situation. My AirPods over the summer on a train. Maggie and I, we got on the wrong train. I took a seat. They were in my pants, and they fell out. And then when I got on the right train, I'm like, oh, my AirPods aren't here. So I guess I'm exactly like you, David.
Yes. You can find a sleuth like Allison.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
There you go. Oh gosh.
Definitely great. That was some interesting stories. And I'm actually very glad you guys mentioned this, because I wanted to get into. This was one of my questions I wanted to ask you guys, but I think you guys already answered this. Did you guys have any funny experiences at the German Open this year, or maybe other dancers you had encounters with, or you met up with friends there and shared some experiences? Could you tell us a bit about that?
So I'm gonna go.
Arcady and
Lena. Yes. So
they tried the German Open.
You're very, very. It's really nice at these bigger competitions where there are more Americans, and we also have Italian and German and Austrian and friends from all over now because of the many times we've been traveling. But we hadn't seen Arcady and Lena ever at an international competition, and we were just eating in the courtyard, and they come by, and we ended up having a lovely evening of drinking wine and enjoying stories and things like that, and we really find that it's useful and great support when the Americans that are there are going to each other's events and supporting each other. It's really lovely to feel the camaraderie, and it's fun to have people to also socialize with when we're at these competitions. So that's special.
And it's a great way to learn about other opportunities. Like Arcady and Lena, along with Mike and Roseanne, had been to a camp in Italy the previous week. So it was very interesting, and to hear about the camp and hear some stories from that.
Yeah, the rounds that they had done and all the lessons, and yeah, it was great.
Yeah.
Of course, I agree 100%. Traveling with people that you already know from the States, from the homeland, it's a little bit different feeling. So that's really cool to have with you. But discuss a little bit about.
Let me interject, Alessandro. For us, there's always the issue of finding the balance, because typically before the comp, we have found a place to practice. So we practice in the morning, and like I mentioned before, we have a certain amount of preparation we need to do before the comp. But then once it's over, then it's just so much fun hanging out with fellow teammates and even doing sightseeing together. It's fantastic.
I agree 100%. Being able to sightsee with that after competition feeling, when you already did the work, now you can just enjoy it. That's a nice feeling. That's a very nice feeling.
I feel like it's
right, well deserved, especially if you have the results, or not the results. If you dance the way you wanted to dance.
Yes.
Exactly.
So that's really nice. So if we put all these experiences together with the last couple of years, 2018 GOC, 2019 GOC, and 2022, along with the World Championships and international events you've taken place, what would you say would be some advice that you would give to adult dancers and other senior category dancers? What would you tell them as they're going from social to competition, and then competition to international, and then international to world championship? So as they decide to go from social and all the way to a world championship status. Now, granted, that is a long-term goal.
But we think that if people have different ways of doing things, of course. So we have some friends who started dancing fairly recently, and they jumped right in with gold level choreography, much more complicated than the routines we're doing. But that's what they like. They like learning new steps. They like being challenged like that, and they're good at that. So good for them. For us, we thought it was more important to start with the basics, to start with syllabus, learn the foundation, and then work our way up. So when we're working with relatively new dancers, our advice generally is to focus on the basics. Get your fundamentals down, get your movement down.
I think you can never go wrong with that advice. That's so solid. Yeah, to know understandings of the basics, even for like a top level dancer or like an advanced dancer, I think that's something that always can be improved on. And never.
And I think that going to your question here right now, if they do love what they do and they want to try going into competition, to not be disappointed if they're at the bottom for a while, and to just sort of embrace the experience and learn by everything that's happening, and then listen, as we were talking about, listen to your coach and get those videos of yourself and the other people that are doing better, and say, where do I fit in here? And if you do want to do better, if you want to just go in and have a good time, we know couples that stay down at pre-champ and novice, and they're just enjoying themselves. And I really respect that, and they're slowly chugging through and getting better and better. When we got to championship level, our routines were mostly basic.
Oh yes.
Like gold level routines.
Yeah, we were asking for more, and our coaches were like, "No, you look terrible." So, and how do we as a couple, what is going to make us look the best, and not try to look like that other couple that was all fancy, and because maybe that's their wheelhouse, maybe that's where they're going to excel and rise up the ranks, versus what kind of a a dance couple are we.
And then we encourage people to get out there, because nothing takes the place of the experience of being on the floor, being jostled, dealing with the bright lights, dealing with the people. There's always so many unexpected things that can and will happen. So, and then also, the judges need to see you. It's helpful to have recognition, and they go, oh, they've gotten better. Okay. Or
not.
Yeah.
What's the saying that goes, no experience is bad experience, right? Like,
Right.
whatever you go through, like, you always have something to learn from.
Well, it's for my office fans. You miss 100% of the shots you don't miss, or don't pay. # Michael Scott, whatever. Something like this.
And then we also try to reinforce that you cannot be responsible for the results. You can be responsible for your dancing.
Yes.
And hopefully you do the best job you can on that particular day. But we had a lesson with a judge who we won't mention, who always marked us poorly, and we thought, we should have a lesson with her to see what it is we're doing that's that they find so distasteful. And in the end, it was just a matter of, I think they said, well, I know what I like, and I just don't like the way you dance.
And so also said, when this person was a professional, that there were always a couple judges that didn't like them as couples, and it never changed. So they felt that was also where they were. So, that was an interesting lesson to learn.
Yeah. So don't take it personally. And, sometimes we'll look at the people we're competing against before the event, and we'll go, oh, we should do pretty well. And then we might not even make the final. You just never know.
Yeah.
Right.
I see, 100%.
So David, I know you mentioned earlier that one question about going off of the previous question. What do you think has to be done here in the United States in order for these adult and senior couples, and honestly any couple who wants to compete? What do you think has to be done in order to
them to thrive on the international scale?
On the international scale.
Yeah. So we want to start with, what do you need in order to be successful here as well? Both in the States and internationally. And we think that absolutely the number one priority is to find a coach or set of coaches that believe in you and who you trust. Mm-hmm. And then work with them. It doesn't have to be exclusively, but whatever they tell you, you do it. So this applies not just to technique, but to your choreography, to your costuming, to your hair, to your makeup, to your shoes.
Your look.
Your look.
Mm-hmm. So we've been blessed to have a husband and wife team who believe in us, and so for example, Allison and I will often try to sneak more complicated things into our choreography. Like we'll watch Tomas Feinzel do some move, and we go, "Oh, let's do that.
Let's do it. I like it."
So we'll put it in, and then we'll have a lesson, and we'll dance it, and Tomas will say, "What was that?" and we'll go, "Well, it was this thing." He said, "Okay, show me." So then we get the video.
It's the artist in me, okay?
Yeah. And often he'll say, "Okay, let's try it. We'll try it for a month or two." And then at the end of that time, if it hasn't come up to his standards, then it's out. And we're always free to work on it and then try it again later. But he's really got an eye for what we do well, what looks good on us, and what doesn't. And so he doesn't waste time on stuff that doesn't look good on us.
Sure, I agree 100% with all the current champions of today and the past. All have said the same thing that you're saying right now. You need to have the trust in the manager, okay? Because you need to have one manager and multiple coaches around you. In
Like a
fact,
team.
yes, in today's our current champions, Gabriele Goffredo, Cristina Moscenza, Edgar and Alina, they're all in the final, they're all champions, and they all have one coach, one manager. And then they might work with a specialist and then here in the States as well. So I have one manager, Anna has one manager, and it's one, Katrina Volgina. And then she works with me, I work with all these guys. But the manager is one. So I agree 100% with what you said.
Yes, and I think that some people kind of forget to maybe as you go, as the couple progresses and they win more and more championships, maybe they get a little too proud, a little too arrogant, and
The
they
crown
say,
becomes too big.
Yeah. They say, oh, like, what, my coach's opinions don't matter anymore. Like, well, I can do my own thing. Like, I have enough experience. But it's like, that never works out in the end, because it's like, you can never learn enough. There's always more.
We could hear the evil laugh of our coach
Yes.
just across the hallway. We heard it. We were like, oh, coincidence.
Yeah.
But okay, continue. I'm sorry.
So going back to some of these other points we wanted to make about how to make an impact on the international stage. First, also doing as many competitions as you can. In both also preparing. The couples in Europe compete every weekend. We can't do that even here in the States. And we're too big a country. We're on the West Coast. For us to get to the East Coast for even once every few months is a lot. And so we're taking a lot of that time also going to Europe. And we plan to do competitions that have more than one of the same level. And it's harder for level senior 1 and 2, but 3 and 4 often have 2 in the same, like Vienna and German Open.
2 days of the same event.
So getting ranking points once you're really invested in doing this is important, because when there's multiple rounds, we get out of a round. So in German Open, we were able to skip the first round because we had a high enough ranking point. So we only had to do 5.
I'm sorry, what was that?
So a star couple.
Yeah.
Yes. So we had a star. Senior 3 had star and double stars because they had 200 couples. So they had some couples that were able to skip 1 round and some that were able to skip 2 rounds because there were so many people. So that's an important part of it. What else about the international? You were saying the WDSF, trying to have more events in this country that are WDSF is helpful, first for ranking points, although then we need to get people to come from Europe. And as we said, many of our friends in Europe, they want to come. They want to come, especially if it's a destination city.
Right.
They would love to. Probably East Coast is easier for them than West Coast to come to, but building up that idea of WDSF as well as the USA Dance.
I think at one point, I don't know if I should mention any names, but someone was organizing a competition. I think it was going to be like in New Jersey or New York, and it looked like it was going to have a bunch of WDSF events. And I don't know if in the end that was just too expensive. Yeah. But that would have been fantastic.
I see. Yeah. I see. I think the next one in the future that will happen will be the Blackpool DanceSport Championships, which will host the Senior 2 10 Dance World Championship.
Yes, which is fantastic. Yeah. Really great.
Yeah. And then one other point we wanted to bring up, which is an important one, is we talked about coaches and the importance of coaching, and the advantage that the Europeans have is they can easily bring their coach along. Mm-hmm. We can't. We can't afford to fly our coach. We can hardly afford to fly ourselves. So one of the things that I would like to see more of, and not to say that it's not happening, mm-hmm. we're really grateful and happy about the support we do get from our teammates. You know, let me be very clear about that. They were so. It's so important, especially in one of these, you know, long day scenarios where in the early rounds you're probably getting jostled like you've never been jostled before. You may be getting knocked over.
Yeah.
And you come off the floor just feeling like, oh man, we're done.
Yeah.
And one of your teammates comes over and says, hey, you know, it wasn't as bad as you think it was.
Yeah,
You know, you guys
absolutely.
looked good. So
Yeah.
don't worry about it.
So it's nice to have the support of teammates, and at since we get on a little further, we often find either on a separate day or on the day that we're competing that um, we're able to give support to people earlier in the rounds. And then as we go along, if people stay and like videotape us, if they're not no longer dancing, and we recommend that anyway, we always stay. If we don't make final, we stay and we videotape. And then since there were two days of competition, we had some fellow competitors give us a video of us dancing in the semifinal. We sent it to our coaches. Our coaches gave us feedback.
What are you doing?
And it helped us for our second day. You know, it was just really, it was so helpful. And sometimes we'll have people come and say, do you need water? Do you need a bar? Do you need something as the rounds go on? And we try to do that for people as well. If it's an off day for us and we're going and supporting, we're cheering, David taking photos and making sure that they're okay for as long as we're able to. You know, it's a great way for us to support each other.
Yeah,
Really
I-
good point.
That's great.
Companionship is something that it's one of the little things, but it's one of the little things that truly matter. It's a big help because I say it's a little thing because sure, at the end of the day, you know, you have to push. But if it's there, it's a good bonus to have that mental and emotional, moral support. Even if you hear like a cheer, let's go, David!
Right.
So small things like that are always such. It's small, but inside it's empowering. Yes, it's a good empowering feeling.
Yes.
Yeah.
You know, I've given a lot of thought, and I haven't come up with a solution to how we as U.S. athletes can get around this problem of our coaches not being there, and in part because some of our competitors are often, not often, but sometimes from the same studio we're in. They know what we're working on, and they know what we look like when we're in the studio. So I remember being at Vienna one year, and one of our teammates from the studio said, you know, I've seen you a lot more stretched in the studio. And I was like, oh, okay, good.
Yeah.
You know, I can apply that. You
Yeah.
know, so I don't know if we could, you know, like if you know someone's going to be there, you know, say to them, look, you know, Tomas has me working on, you know, these things, and maybe show them.
Mhm.
And then in the competition, maybe they could come up and say, hey, you're doing those things really well, but I don't know if you mind me saying, but your focus is like down or something. You know, something like that would be really helpful, but you know, I think it's tricky.
It has to be someone that, you know, it has to be that they feel okay about it and so forth. But there's some different options for that. I think the idea of finding a way to be supportive of each other, I think, is going to be really helpful for the U.S. couples. You know, seek those people out.
Or maybe even in the future, as we get more USA athletes traveling, maybe USA Dance can come up with a way of providing, you know, a coach who knows us enough so that they could be helpful at some of these big competitions.
Yeah,
I
that's
agree with
definitely some good thoughts to keep in mind. And the kind of, this is the same train of thought me and Alessandra had when we were organizing our third Scalora DanceSport Summit. Is we wanted to incorporate some sense of like forthcoming in the United States, where we can, as dancers, we can progress and learn from the best.
From the best.
And we can maybe recognize that the US is an amazing country that has done amazing things, and the USA Dance is an amazing federation. And I feel like we can always use some more knowledge from outside sources. So this is what we had in mind for Scalora DanceSport, and so I hope you guys will stay tuned for that. So we wanted to say that we are now currently live on Eventbrite. Our tickets you're able to purchase them. The Scalora DanceSport is going to be going on the summit is going to be going on from February 10th through the 12th. It's going to be featuring a whole bunch of professionals. You can check it out on the website at Eventbrite. Link will be down in the description.
And the reason we wanted to tell you this is because Mr. David and Miss Allison, being part of this interview, you have won 50% of the entire summit. So we are welcoming you inviting you, to take part in this event, being one of the couples that give pride to the Federation and the USA Dance. And no confusion, this is not a USA Dance event, but it is a Scalora DanceSport event. But because you are such strong competitors and humble people, and people that we like to hang out with, so we do want to give this to you. So let's wrap this up. Let's finish this.
We're thrilled. Thank you so much.
And this has been really a great time to spend with you guys. Thank you.
Oh, thank you. Thank you so much for being here. And we hope to see you guys soon. And we hope to see you guys on the summit.
All right.
See you guys.
Bye. Thank you.
Ciao, bello.
Okay.
All right, now wasn't that an interview? David and Allison are one of the top couples in this federation, and apart from all their decorated results, they're just awesome people, aren't they?
They are. It was a pleasure talking to them, and we hope that you guys will learn as much as we did from them and talking about their experiences.
All right, Anna, well, I will leave you here. I am co-host, so thank you so much for this opportunity, and I will walk my walk on the red carpet.
Alright guys, well that is it for our first episode of this brand new segment on Scalora DanceSport called The Red Carpet Show. We hope you guys enjoyed and look forward to some more new, interesting, juicy episodes. And I will see you guys next time. Peace or peace.